morning, everyone. I'm WSAZ's Kimberly Kagi. Thanks for joining us here in our WSAZ Plus studio for a check on that forecast to help you plan. We're going to go ahead and bring in Dylan Goday now. Dylan, some exciting stuff that you guys are kind of tracking. I know we're in a little bit of a wintry mix today, but it doesn't sound like that's the case for the next couple of days.
Yeah, it's looking really nice for Friday and Saturday. Just have to get through the day. And parts of our area are seeing snow. We've had snow sticking to the grassy surfaces for some locations. So Lewis County, Kentucky, for example, the Portsmouth area. We've even had a few flakes mixing in here in Huntington, but that's going to be short-lived. And the Friday forecast, the Saturday forecast, both look fantastic.
Great. I mean, that's no pressure there. Everybody wants their weekend to look really nice. Let's go ahead and pull up your weather graphics so you can talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
We have that rain-snow mix out there today. It's not lasting all day. It'll be gone by lunchtime, maybe some lingering showers for Charleston at around noon. But the rest of the afternoon will be dry, mild, though, Friday afternoon into Saturday. But we do have a first slow weather day on the board for Monday. And this one's looking like a really tricky forecast with unfortunately, all winter weather precipitation types on the table, including snow, freezing rain and ice, and then just plain old rain for some locations. So plan on slick traveling conditions Monday and plan on the school delays and cancellations that will be likely. This is a look across the tri-state, and you may notice can't see much out of Portsmouth. That's because the camera, this happened during our show earlier this morning, was just getting hit with big snowflakes, and those snowflakes have covered the camera lens at the moment, and this is a view of the snow actually reaching the ground. Bandit there, James Cooley's dog, says it's snowing in Vanceburg. That was our confirmation from Bandit this morning that Lewis County, Kentucky, for example, seeing the snow. The radar is super messy. Some locations it's showing snow, but it's actually raining. Some locations it's showing rain, and it's actually snowing. But notice the temperatures are above freezing. It's just snowing hard enough to where a lot of this can overcome those temperatures, and that's why it's maybe not sticking to the roads and more so sticking to the grassy and elevated surfaces. But it's already starting to get out of Maysville and Vanceburg. We could see, again, a coating to maybe half an inch or a little bit more in the Lewis County. It's been snowing there for a while. Huntington right now, it's showing some snow mixing in between Huntington and Winfield, maybe towards the Barbersville area, right along 64. Milton, for example, over to Tays Valley. I think that's mainly rain, but the radar at least is picking up on snow. You could see some big snowflakes trying to mix in with that rain. But again, this is moving to the east pretty quickly, and we'll be out of here by your afternoon, so not going to be much of a problem later into the day. So that's what you need to be prepared for today. Mention the nice weather on the way for Friday into Saturday. Those are going to be much better weather days. And Marshall baseball at home both of those days as well. So that should lead to several fans packing the stands, I think, because the forecast is looking so nice as Marshall's at home Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Friday, Saturday forecast couldn't be better.
I mean, talk about an opening weekend. Those are temperatures that we don't typically see around this type of year. I do kind of want to hone in on Monday in particular. So what is so tricky about trying to predict what we're going to get and forecast what we're going to get? You mentioned this storm is challenging to track.
Yes, it is challenging to track because it's one of those deals where a small change in the track can make or break the difference. So if it goes a little bit further north, it would bring more rain into the forecast. But if it's further south, it could bring more snow and ice to our forecast right now. And this is different than the morning activity we're seeing today. This is kind of quick hitting, right? It's not lasting very long, only a couple hours, where Monday's event could be several hours where you're dealing with freezing rain, you're dealing with snow and colder temperatures to where that leads to more problems out there. So Nicholas was on this. We had this first slow weather day issued Monday. As soon as it was on the 7-day forecast, it was a first slow weather day because of that threat. So that is definitely going to be something that we are watching closely over the weekend. I know I've already gotten questions about, I have a doctor's appointment on Monday. Should I plan to maybe adjust the schedule for that? And I would say yes, that especially if you're in southern Ohio, if you're closer to north of Charleston into central West Virginia, the Spencer area, Clay County, Braxton County, Nicholas County, I'd be prepared to maybe have some delays and cancellations there. Where if you're in Pikeville, if you're in Logan, if you're in maybe Mingo County, this could be mainly a rain event. At least that's what it's looking like right now.
To know that you guys were able to call it about 7 days out from when we could see it, that's a pretty strong indicator for your team when you guys are tracking this to say, hey, this could be really impactful. And that's why you guys called it so early.
Yeah. Anytime you see a first of weather day towards the end of that 7-day forecast and not maybe at the beginning of it, that should tell you that there's one, high confidence in something happening, and two, that it'd be a big event. If it was something light, like we knew there was going to be light snow 7 days in advance, we wouldn't really be warning too much about that. The biggest thing that caught our eye earlier in the week is the freezing rain threat. Now, what makes this different than what the freezing rain event that we had in January is that it's not going to be followed by several days of really cold temperatures. It's really going to be Monday and Tuesday morning where we're going to be flirting with that freezing mark, and then we're likely above freezing for the rest of the next week. So anything that happens on Monday should melt relatively quickly, and we're not stuck in the ice box like we were during all of January's event.
You know, I think the people that are wanting those warmer temperatures, you do have good news for them. And you were kind of teasing that to us in our morning meeting this morning.
Yes.
We just have to wait for it a little bit longer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't show my weather graphics because my computer died. That's one thing that I can't show the 7 day, but it's good news because past the 7 days when it's going to look really nice. We're talking end of next week, around this time next week, and then towards next weekend, 70s are likely. I think it's a good likelihood that we see 70s, and I wouldn't be shocked if maybe Huntington by the end of next weekend gets close to possibly 80 degrees for the first time this year. You were kidding. Yes.
Wow.
And, I'm not kidding. But I was looking back last year, it was March 12th that Huntington did hit 80 degrees for the first time, actually a high of 82. So not completely out of the realm of possibility during that time frame. So yeah, stay tuned. I think that could definitely be possible next weekend. We're having one nice weekend this weekend, but next weekend, at least warmth-wise, is looking even warmer.
You know, I think a lot of people are going to take advantage. Even Susan and I were talking yesterday. She goes, I can't wait to get outside and get the shovels off the driveway and put those away. So I think a lot of people are going to take some time this weekend, even next weekend throughout when we get towards the end of the week, just to kind of reset for a lot of us. And hopefully we'll be able to put those snow shovels away for a good bit.
Yeah, and spring doesn't officially start until later in March, obviously, but meteorological spring does start on March 1st. So we separate it by the calendar month. So the so Saturday is the last day of meteorological winter. We start meteorological spring on Sunday. Unfortunately, we have the winter system to worry about on Monday. But after that, it's looking like a true spring-like type of weather pattern.
All right, Dylan. Well, you've certainly given us some great stuff here. You heard him mention on Monday, a bit of a mix. And, of course, our team is going to keep you with all of the newest information, newest model data as we prepare for that. You know, it's Thursday, so we're about 5 days out, but we're still likely going to see that impact. So we appreciate you joining us here for a little bit of an update on your weather and how you can plan your weekend. And, of course, that first alert weather day that is headed our direction on Monday. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.